Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the PCSpecialist BRC Invitational Championship, also brought to you by EDSL Sport and M Sport Dirt Rally 2.0 and Codemasters. Thank you for watching this evening. My name is Seb Scott, and as per usual, and for the final time this season, I can hear the violins playing already. I'm joined by my co-commentator, John Armstrong. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Seb. It's been a good season so far. Looking forward to seeing the action today. But yeah, a little bit sad that it's coming to an end. But judging by yesterday's stages and the action we've seen on the stages, there's plenty more to be played there out in the stages today.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be sad that it's ending. Be happy that it happened. And be happy that yesterday happened. Because, wow, stage 1 and 2 was entertaining. Matt Edwards is currently leading by 1.9 seconds over James Morgan. He could stop James Morgan from absolutely dominating this championship. So far, James Morgan has won 3 rallies on the bounce. Josh McAlane sits second in the championship. He's 24 points down in the championship. So basically, James Morgan has got this wrapped up. He needs to score 1 point to guarantee winning the championship. However, you know, this is all fun, really. There is a championship on stake, but we just want to see some rallying action, don't we?
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, we're seeing Matt Edwards putting in a really good effort. He just wants to win this event. I think he sort of maybe conceded defeat in the championship, but to get one win would be really great. And yeah, as we've seen James Morgan win all 3 previous events, it's really, really good to see a tight battle for this one. So let's see how it goes.
I think definitely Ben summed it up perfectly last night when James Morgan had a little spin. He was like, he's not perfect, he made a mistake.
Yeah,
which is
he's
exactly
actually human.
Yeah. So Matt Edwards is really capitalising on that. Matt looks really comfortable on Scotland. And these Scottish stages are by no means easy, are they, John?
No, they're very difficult. You know, there's a lot of high-speed sections, some technical areas as well, with a lot of logging at the side of the road. So you have to be super neat and tidy, but fully committed. But yeah, it looks like Matt Edwards really enjoys the stages in Scotland. He has told me that before, so he's looking really strong out there.
So today's stages will be, stage 3 will be, I'll get the list in front of me, shall I? Newhouse Bridge Reverse, 8.07 miles. We're on board with Eamon Creedon. This is a long one and it's brutal. John, what are your top tips to Eamon Creedon right now in his 208 T16?
Well, I think the first thing that you really want in this stage is a good high-speed car. You want to bump up that final drive so you can get maximum top speed. You see, he's just climbing up a very, very steep hill now, and it goes for maybe 2 kilometers, just completely flat out. And there's a nice jump over a left-hander towards the end of it. But it's a really committed stage. You want to have, you know, big balls to get a good time in here.
You say that's a nice jump. I completely disagree with you. I'm not going to lie. If I'm in an R5 car on this stage, I'm braking for that jump, because I find myself somewhere in the trees here where Eamon Creedon, fair play to the lad, he's just about kept it on the road. We should add as well that we've had a bit of rain overnight, and yeah, there's a little bit less grip out there. And this stage, it's just flat out. And all the stages you want to run on, you do not want to be running on a wet stage here. You want it to be dry at least.
Yeah, you can just see like there's a layer of water and there's some puddles running down the road, which, you know, makes it very difficult. It's hard to know where you're going to have grip and where you're not going to have grip. These guys have probably practiced this stage in the dry, so that's one of the unique things about Dirt Rally 2.0 is trying to, you know, remember or, you know, forget what you have learned. All your braking points change whenever the weather changes. Oh, let's just see a bit of a moment for Will Crichton there, clipping a bank. He's got away with it.
Yeah, is it services resuming service for Will Crichton there? He didn't have the best of runs yesterday. Fair play to Will Crichton, though. You know, we say he didn't have the best runs. It's very difficult. You may think this is a game, but you trust me. You try and have a go right now and try and push to the way these guys are going. It's by no means easy.
50, keep left left of a crest.
So Will Crichton now on board. We've got another... Well, it's quite flat, this section here. And it's flat all the way up until, I think there's a free left coming up, but there's rocks either side, John. It's like a very quick chicane. And if you get that wrong, it's basically rally over. As Rupert Flynn's started now, just going through the square left here. In the wet, John, we've got a long wet stage now, and then a long dry stage. Do you find a compromise with the setup, or do you just go with your dry setup and hope for the best in the wet?
I think it's not really as crucial in gravel. You know, you're still going to be on a soft tyre if you're on a dry stage and a wet stage. The car setup isn't going to change too much either, so you can sort of get away without making too many tweaks. But yeah, more so on tarmac, you'd be looking to change the setup for wet conditions.
So one question I have got though with wet and dry gravel, brakes. Can you do anything with your brakes? Because
oh no! Oh!
Crichton goes off there.
It's a massive one.
We don't need to talk about brakes now. Will just needs to get back on the road. I think he's reset.
Yeah, he's
the action's kicking off already.
He's going to get a time penalty for that as well, resetting to the road. But that was a massive accident. He just ran wide, got the sort of hooked the tyre into the ditch and just dragged them in. But at least he's still able to continue.
I was too busy quizzing you on all the technical ins and outs of setup, while Will's just planning on taking his Fiesta into lower orbit. As we're on board with Rupert Flynn now. Rupert's 10th in the championship. However, he could bag himself 9th, maybe even 8th. He's on 7 points, 7 points to 8th position in the championship. Di Roberts, quite a big gap for Di here. 3 minutes 38 down. However, Di is predominantly a co-driver. He does, he's a dab hand in a car. We won't take that away from him, but he's not doing too bad currently on the split. It's only 2 seconds down of the best so far. It's a long old stage, so there's plenty of distance to go yet. Brian Brady started now, and he's 6th currently, and he's 39.5 seconds down. Brian's looking good here, John.
Yeah, he had a really good, strong pace yesterday. Being really consistent, that's what you need to do, and try to make as few mistakes as possible. But this is a proper long stage the guys are doing compared to yesterday's. You need to have good concentration, not to make any mistakes, and hold a nice average speed throughout.
Speaking of concentration, like you say, sometimes for the guys when the splits come up, how much of a distraction can that be for you when you've got such a long stage? There's a psychological war going on there, surely. Oh, Di Roberts!
It's the same location as Will Crichton.
I think he's kept it on the road.
They're running wide and they're hooking a wheel into the ditch on the sort of the cliff, the drop off of the side of the road, which is unsettling them. So we could see a few more moments there with the guys further back.
Brian Brady flying though here at the moment. Really nice shots, and Rupert Flynn. That car's looking rather second hand now, Rupert. You've just come from service as well, and your brilliant mechanics from M Sport have tinkered away and got that car back sorted, and just destroyed all their love and hard work in a matter of seconds.
Maximum attack. But going back to your question about split times, it can be a distraction, that's for sure. But it's really good to let you know how you're doing throughout the stage. You're going to know if you need to up your pace. If you come to the first split and you're 5 seconds slower, you need to go really, really quick on the next split. But you need to keep your level of concentration and focus on the road as well, so you don't make a mistake when that split time does come up.
So Peter Jackson currently running 7th, 50.4 seconds down. Now, Peter Jackson, oh dear,
just running up the bank.
As far as my points table here in front of me is saying, isn't in the top 10 in points, so keep it up, Peter, and you can have a good result. Now, Matt Edwards didn't have the best of runs out in Spain a couple of rounds, a round ago, which has resulted in him actually starting quite far down the order compared to normal. He's leading. I was really impressed with Matt yesterday. John, what about you?
Yeah, I was super happy to see Matt have a really good run. I know he was frustrated on the last couple of events on the tarmac, so yeah, we're seeing him sort of show his true real-life speed here in the game now, and yeah, hopefully he can continue to demonstrate that today and challenge for the victory in this rally.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we've seen the best out of Matt yet, and I think we are seeing that on Scotland. Matt is a 2-time BRC champion. He's a proven driver in real life, and he loves Dirt Rally 2.0. As you can see now, he is flying. Tell you what, should we just ride on board and listen? Absolutely, I love this game. Honestly, it's incredible. The sound and the visuals, all of it added together. Even Rupert Flynn here must be having the time of his life right now. There's no BRC for this season, but I think this makes up for it to some degree.
Yeah, it's as close as you get to the real thing, really. Oh, he's in the ditch, but he's got away with that. He's able just to keep his foot flat on the throttle and pull himself out. M-Sport make the best tractors in the world. I think they can sort of pull themselves out of any situation usually.
I was just going to say, I think that's the farmer within Ritz Milner, his love for tractors. It's sort of peppered about in all of M-Sport's cars there. But no, Rupert then embodying a bit of Colin McRae's motto, if in doubt, flat out. Especially while we're in his homeland of Scotland here. Absolutely incredible stages here. Flat out, but dangerous, I think is the way to say it.
So Eamon Creedon's just coming to the finish.
Yeah, 8:23. I think that could be improved on. Eamon.
Oh no, Will Crichton.
Yeah, them Scottish forests are fairly unforgiving. Made a rake of mistakes inside there, but I had a bit of fun in this. That's what it's all about.
He had a bit of fun, and that's what it's all about. You know what? I couldn't disagree with you more. John, Robert De Niro's calling. He's talking Italian. You don't know that song, do you?
No, I'm not familiar with that term, but I was watching yesterday. I do know that Richard Crozier's switched co-driver for this event. He's thrown Phil Mills out and got the Italian co-driver instead. I'm not sure why. Has he told us why?
He said he's doing it for his own development, as far as I'm aware. And you know what? It does actually sound quite poetic. It's a really passionate... I love the Italian language, so hearing a co-driver, Spanish or Italian, it just makes you feel excited. You want to get all angry and just like, come on, let's do this. Avante, avante.
Just have a bit more aggression in your driving.
Yeah. Adam, our video editor, was worried about me doing a Scottish accent for these stages as Rupert Flynn again puts it into some logs. And it turns out, no, the Scottish accent wasn't first on this rally, it was in Italian. Let's hear from Rupert now, shall we? At some point, here we go.
Well, I managed to roll it again this time within the first few corners, and also within the last few corners. I really struggled to get a rhythm in this stage.
Honest, at least, he did struggle. That was quite evident as Will Crichton crosses the line now in another second-hand Fiesta. I think we're going to get something from Will shortly, but Malcolm Wilson's going to have a healthy virtual bank balance at the end of this with all the repairs and spare parts being coming out of Dovenby right now.
There's plenty of Ford Fiesta bumpers, wings, roof skins needed after the stage, that's for sure. But yeah, it's good to see the guys, they're finding this a real challenge to get through the stages, push as hard as they can and maintain control of the car. But all of the drivers seem to really be enjoying it. It seems like a good challenge for them, and whenever I do online rallies, it feels like for me that I'm doing an actual rally, and it's what you take from it. You can take it really seriously, or you can take it not seriously, and I think we do see that across the different drivers.
Yeah, I think there's a balance that has to be struck, isn't there, between there's serious contenders and then there's those that are having a bit of fun. Brian Brady has, he's beaten everybody that's come before him so far. We're going to hear from Brian shortly. We'll keep talking just in case. It's a 7:21 from Brian, so he's really taken some time out of Eamon Creedon and Will Crichton there. But Rupert Flynn, despite his faults, it's only 17.9 seconds down off Brian there.
End of stage 3, absolute disaster of a stage, not knowing it from no recce. Had an overshoot past the junction, so it cost me a good minute. So, but that stage will make the rally.
That stage will make the rally. You know what, I agree with you. I love this stage. Although the next stage is a personal favourite of mine. You know what, I won't lie, all of these stages are a personal favourite of mine. That's why I picked them in the order that they are. Absolutely brilliant stages in Scotland. I think it's my favourite rally that Dirt Rally 2.0 has done. Did you save the best till last with this one, John?
Oh, I think we did, and you know, the level designers and the environment artists really had fun making the Scottish location. I think they deliberately, you know, made it the most challenging one to date, and yeah, I think we're seeing that. It's a fan favourite for sure, and it's gone down extremely well with the community.
Exactly, and in terms of the visuals and the scenery, these shots that we're getting now are just insane. And if you're interested in getting into the sim world or getting involved, stepping up your gaming game, if that's a term, get yourself down to PCSpecialist.co.uk, enter the code EBRC, and buy yourself a nice new gaming setup, and you'll get 30 quid off, courtesy of EBRC and PC Specialist, who have kindly brought this coverage. Let's hear from Matt Edwards now.
Yeah, the Fiesta R5 and the Pirellis worked really well. Good rhythm on the long stage, one of the best stages on the championship, that one, I think, and really can take some risks but get the reward as well. So on to the last one.
What was you on there then, John? K5s or K6 Scorpions?
I'm actually not that familiar with gravel Pirellis, would you believe it? But I'm going to say K6s. I think that's the soft one. But yeah, it looks like, you know, Matt's taking this really seriously. He's getting into rhythm. It sounds like he's feeling like this is almost like a real life rally to him, which is brilliant. And you know, that's what we want to see. This is drivers really enjoy themselves.
I think that's something, you know, you know, this is taking nothing away from the guys further down the order, but the elite drivers like Matt Edwards, who's, you know, a proven champion, and James Williams and Josh McElwain, they're taking this seriously because they need to keep, I'm assuming anyway, you can tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, they need to keep their brain sharp while not driving in real life. They've got to keep themselves sharp and maintain. Let's quickly hear from James Williams, and then we'll get back to you, John.
We caught the logs at one point, but otherwise it was probably my best time in that stage, so very tricky, but I enjoyed it. Best stage of the rally so far, and looking forward to the last one.
Yeah, so the competitive element of this, I suppose it's just a happy coincidence that we're able to do it on a rally game, because surely these guys will be doing anything to keep themselves conditioned to the levels of focus that they need in real life.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. You know, we see the most competitive drivers in the real life rallies are the most competitive in the virtual side of things as well. I think that comes down to just their mindset. You know, their desire to win is so high that they put in the hours of practice required to be really good on the virtual side of things as well. And also, you know, yeah, it's brilliant just to keep your muscle memory up, you know, sharp, and keep you focused on the job in hand, which is driving a rally car as quick as you can from point A to point B.
And Signore Crozieri crosses the line to go third on the stage so far, 17.1 seconds down on Matt Edwards. Hello, Richard.
The time's okay, but Matt's on an absolute tear. We've got no answer for that. Fair play to him. So, yeah, we'll just keep driving our own rally, try and be as happy as we can with our own driving, and see what we can get out of this one.
I like that from Richard Crozier. You know, I like it when a driver is able to just admit, you know what, I couldn't keep up. Fair play to the other driver. That real honesty. I've got a lot of time for honesty anywhere in life. As we're on board with Josh McElwain now, currently running third on the rally. Let's see where he ends up at the end of stage 3. Just coming towards the end of it now. You know what? We actually use, you could say, the same piece of road on every single stage on this rally, John.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
this is Rosebank Farm here, isn't it?
Yeah, you turn on,
right
you turn this junction right now, and you're on to the other piece of road here. So it's very brief, but yeah, it does use the same piece of road.
We struggled for traction in there a lot, so our setup probably wasn't the best for that stage. But the next one's dry, so yeah, we'll give it a good push.
There we go, junior sensation Josh McElwain, who's he proved himself pretty competitive in an R5 for the one and only British Rally Championship round this year. Really exciting to see what Josh is going to give us in the future. And so far on the virtual world in an R5, he's not doing too bad at all. 13.3 down on Matt Edwards on stage 3. He's only 23.5 down off the lead overall. And he's sitting second in points at the moment. So keeps it as it is. He's going to get second in the British Rally Championship. I'm being bold here. I'm calling the virtual one the real one now, given the circumstances this year. James Morgan crosses the line.
So stage number 3 is done. Not a bad run, but just not driving particularly well. Again, struggling to keep up with Matt. So I think I'm 2 tenths behind going into the last stage. So should be good fun.
Oh, he took 1.6 seconds out of Matt Edwards in that stage. Absolutely nothing when you consider the size of the stage, but 0.3 seconds going into the final stage between our top two, John. Who's your money on?
That was a big surprise because on James Morgan's on his gameplay, he only had 2 green sectors out of the whole stage, so I was expecting him to be slower in there, but obviously those 2 green sectors were super quick. 0.3 of a second going into the last stage. It's anyone's to play for. It's going to be a huge battle, but I think it's brilliant to see that. We've got a great battle for the first place. So who's my money on? I can't decide. I'm going to go with Matt Edwards. So I'm going to throw caution to the wind.
You know what? I'm with you. I want to put my money behind Matt. Do not go anywhere. Can Matt Edwards spoil the party? Can he stop James Morgan from making it 4 from 4? The mighty Morgan, as Ben Bunell likes to call him, has just closed the gap to 0.3 seconds. We're on board with him now. Eamon Creedon, your 208's looking a bit second down now, Eamon. Even Matt Cotton's probably wincing a bit looking at that. It's his favourite car in the game, but he's on a charger at the moment. Eamon, that's a flying start that he's made there. Can't take that away from the boy, can you?
No, he looks like he's getting us a nice rhythm from the get-go here, but yeah, that 208 T16 definitely needs a new body shell after this rally. It's looking a bit mangled and well used.
Yeah, so we're on South Morningside now, 7.82 miles, so similar length to the previous stage. However, only one half of this stage is new to the guys. They've already done Rosebank Farm as stage 1, and South Morningside uses the second half of South Morningside is Rosebank Farm. So it's a pretty flat out stage. It's got some technical twisty bits here. You can fly off some edges and into some trees, and that could be rally over. So it really tests every inch of a driver's ability. And it's just intense. There's no other way of putting it, Willie. As Will Crichton starts now. 4 minutes, 7.8 seconds down. A rally to forget for Will? Well, I don't know, really. It's a rally to remember, at least, because, well, we're all having fun and we're all getting out rallying when we shouldn't be, in a weird way. So, fair play to it. Oh, clips the trees there. It's a good job hardcore damage isn't switched on for this rally, because I think Will would be in real trouble right now.
Yeah, at least he managed to stay on the road. He didn't fall down that embankment and get stuck. But yeah, it's a super tricky start to this stage. You've got a couple of technical corners to start off with. Then it goes really, really high speed here. And then you come into a section that's got like a very narrow bridge, which is extremely hard to navigate without falling off the edge. And then you've got a couple of more tight corners after that, which are really deceptive. So we're just seeing Will Crichton head down to that section now.
I've got a feeling Scotland, I think that the genies and the wizards at Codemasters kind of, for the last, I'm assuming probably the last rally to be added to Dirt Rally 2.0, they thought, right, we need to incorporate every single bit of rally that we've already done in this one rally. It's got Finland, it's got Germany, it's got Wales, it's got as many trees as Poland, as many flat out sections as Finland, as many hard braking zones as Germany. What has this stage not got, John?
Well, I think you're right. It's got a bit of everything, and that's what really makes a stage brilliant, is the variation that you get within it. You feel like you're going through a journey. You feel like you're driving through a real life environment when you're passing through the stage. Oh, Rupert's made another mistake. We're just coming into the technical section I was talking about. We're coming over the bridge now. He's managed to get over that. But you can see these corners, they're very deceptive. You don't actually know how tight they're going to be. Here's another one here.
opens, right long, tightens on the crest.
On board with Di Roberts now.
Right long, tightens into 3, left long,
So
tightens.
Di's puncture really did spoil the party for Di on stage 1 and 2, I'm afraid. That he's a fair way down from the lead, but in fairness, there's a gaggle of guys from about 7th to 10th that are all within the same minute or so of each other, so it's still anyone's guess.
Well, that's the brilliant thing about Dirt Rally 2.0 when you do race against people online, is you usually find, you know, a group of 4 or 5 people that you can have an intense battle with. So it doesn't actually really matter if you're 1st or you're 10th, as long as you're in a really nice battle that you're on a similar pace to another person. You know, it's really rewarding when you do manage to get the upper hand and defeat them.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of sport in a way, though. You know, if you go out doing a park run 5k, I'm assuming you can get a sub 30-minute 5k, and John, I'll be lucky if I get 40 minutes. So if I was comparing myself to you, I'd be instantly lose all motivation and not want to take part. However, if I've got, I'm not going to lie, they're going to be very offended by this, but you know, your Di Roberts and Rupert Flynn's are probably your 40-minute 5k runners, and then your Matt Edwards and like sub 30-minuters. It's the fact that we've got a group of each that we can still keep competition going.
Yeah, and
that was a terrible analogy.
the only way you can lower your time is more practice, isn't it? So it's the same in game. You have to practice loads, and you know, we see that in real life too. It's the drivers with the most experience, the most seat time, that are the fastest ones.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think advantage goes to those that are able to fully dedicate themselves to driving to some degree. There are people that are entering this that are working full time. Some are key workers, so there are some that are actually. A few weeks ago, when we were in a very difficult situation in this country, that we're keeping the country going. So here's our thank you to those guys as well. I think that's partly why we opened this up to drivers and co-drivers as well, the BRC, was to make sure we could keep everybody involved and keep everybody busy to some degree. And Rupert Flynn, now, is the boot coming open on there?
It's starting to flap open a little bit. He mustn't have put in his boot pins correctly before the stage started, or he broke them off by clipping the car off a tree or a bank.
Yeah, hopefully he's got his spares strapped down in there nice and securely. We don't want them coming out on stage, because that could spell real trouble for Peter Jackson, who's a minute or 2 behind. Running 8th, Peter Jackson, he could get himself into the top 10 in the championship come end of stage 4, so let's see what happens there. So far so good, but we're only 1 split in. This is the tricky technical section that John mentioned earlier with the bridge. Nicely done there by Peter Jackson. I think he's got a bit of practicing on this stage, it's fair to say.
Yeah, that was well navigated over the bridge. These corners here are proper tricky. You want to carry as much speed as you can by setting the car up before the corner and really pitching it into a slide to carry that speed through it. And that's really how you be quick in gravel. You know, you need to anticipate where the car needs to go and try to maximize your corner speed through it.
Pitching the car and getting the back end out. If you're interested in learning how to do such things like that, and learning something called a Scandinavian flick. Those of you that don't know, this is what rally drivers had to do many years ago when they only had rear-wheel drive. Head to John Armstrong Rallying on YouTube for some amazing tutorials. I even learnt what a diff does.
Yeah, I mean,
educational stuff.
I'm not the most technically knowledge person about these things, but I have a good understanding of how they work, and it actually it's really rewarding when people do learn something from my videos. So yeah, definitely check them out if you guys want to learn anything.
So we're on board with Matt Edwards now. Leads by 0.3 seconds. Edge of your seat stuff or what? Absolutely incredible stuff by Matt Edwards. He's taken the fight to James Morgan. I think he's doing a favour for us all here. He doesn't want to see James Morgan take 4 from 4. We love James Morgan. Brilliant lad. Really nice guy, but we're not having you winning 4, James. It's just not on. We've got to at least have one driver take a win on this series. You're showing our drivers up, James. For those of you who don't know, James Morgan is Reese Yates' co-driver, but we're on board with James Williams right now. Started with a Mitsubishi Mirage on Scotland and then went to a Ford Fiesta. Claimed he'd never driven Dirt Rally 2.0 before. However, sitting 4th, oh no, not even 4th. Yeah, 4th in the championship. I'm not so sure he was new to this championship at all. I think we were thrown a proper ropey dope there.
Yeah, I mean, most drivers I think have tried Dirt Rally 2.0 or some form of sim rallying or sim racing at some point, but yeah, every game is different. I think maybe that's what he was alluding to. You know, you have to learn each game's parameters and how the cars react to your inputs, and just get a knowledge built up of how you do certain things. I think that's why sometimes you see real life drivers, they obviously struggle a little bit to adapt to sim racing because they don't have the same, you know, cues that they have in real life. They don't have the car moving around underneath them.
Looking forward to the build from Peugeot. I have absolute ribbons made out of that yoke. I think I might stick to navigating.
Do you need a translation for that?
I think I do. I got a gist, but yeah, could you just give us a quick...
Yeah, I've got to take the positives. It was a tricky event, but really enjoyable. And yeah, thanks to the BRC team for putting the online series together. It's been great.
Thank you very much, Will Crichton. Thank you for stepping into the lurch at such short notice and giving it a go. But Eamon Creedon, John, have you deciphered what he said yet?
Basically, he made a mess of the car. That's what he was trying to tell us. But no, Eamon's very funny. The way that he describes how his stages went, I think it's very comical. It's good entertainment.
No, absolutely brilliant stuff. Rupert Flynn, I love his stage ends. He always finds a positive, even when all we see is negatives. Here we go, Rupert Flynn.
Only a few errors in multiple roles. It's been a great event. Good way to pass time in lockdown.
I didn't quite pick up what he said there, John. Did you get it?
Yeah, he said that it was a good event for him, and that, you know, he enjoyed it during lockdown. I think that's, you know, the main thing for these drivers, like you were saying earlier, is that it's give them something to do on lockdown and sort of fills the void of not competing in real life.
Oh, Di Roberts, if you want to finish in spectacular fashion, that's the way to do it. Almost rolling over in a ditch there. I love watching Di drive. It's go hard or go home.
Yeah, happy with that. Had a major push in there. Crawled a bit back on Eamon, I reckon, but no, overall happy.
You clawed a bit back on him, and you took over a minute out of him, Di. I think that's fair to say you've leapfrogged Eamon in the stage there. 1:39 down from Rupert Flynn, and 2:10 down from Rupert Flynn for Eamon Creedon. So, Di, you've made a move there. Well done. Richard Crozier now. He's probably making a pizza, having an espresso. Anything else you do while you're in the car with an Italian co-driver, John?
I haven't had the opportunity to have an Italian co-driver beside me before, but I'm sure it gets very entertaining.
That's us finish the championship now. I'm not sure how we finished up, but happy. Anyway, dropped about 20 seconds overall in Scotland, so that's not too bad, I suppose.
Fair play to Brian Brady there. He's leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Could be on for his first points of the season. You know, something, just listening to Brian there, I noticed something when I was checking the entry list and the flags on the club a couple of days ago. There are a lot of Irishmen in this championship.
Yeah, I mean there's something that you've seen quite a lot over the years with the British Championship. It's sort of a well-renowned series. You know, we've seen a lot of foreign drivers come from Finland over the years, and you know other Scandinavian countries, etc. And you know, we've seen a lot of Irish drivers do really well in the British Championship too. You know, Keith Cronin won it 4 times, I think.
Yep, 4 times.
It seems like a really nice place to go and prove yourself when you're from Ireland, and you know, it's only a 2 or 3 hour boat journey over to have a go and have a crack at it. So it's very achievable for Irish drivers to go and try it.
And that's something you Irish lot love. You love some great crack. I mean, you're Northern Irish, but you know, still, great crack is what this championship's all about, especially the EBRC. I'll dig myself out of that hole quite neatly before I start upsetting people. Do apologise there. And that was Matt Edwards crossing the line then, I believe.
Had a good rhythm. Again, tricky with the ruts, but adds to the challenge. And it's been a great championship. Hopefully, finish with a strong result. And you know, massive thanks to the championship organisers for putting it on. And
not a problem. Thank you, Matt Edwards, for hopefully giving us a surprise. James Williams goes off. Oh no! I tell you what, though, that's a tricky section right there because it says it's a free left, but the notes come so thick and fast there because there's so much going on. It's very tight, and you've got to brake particularly early, as there's a crest going into it. I'm doing your job for you there, John. I do apologise.
Yeah, well, you described it pretty well. You're coming into a right-hander over that crest, and what's happened is he's braking heavily while he's turning right, and he's braking more and more coming into that three left, and the car's just rotated too much on the right-hander before it.
Oh, dear me.
He's off again.
That last free right there before the finish, it catches a lot of people out with a ditch on the left. As soon as you get one wheel in there, you've not got much luck of getting it out.
A couple of mistakes in there, but otherwise pretty good considering we haven't done much practice at all. So see how the others go, and the road's getting worse with every car, so it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Is the road getting worse with every car, John? Is the road getting worse?
No, it's actually not true. The stage is rutted, but the conditions are the same for everyone in an event like this. That the guys are playing in Dirt Rally 2.0. But what it really does give you is the feeling of driving through a location where the stage is rutting up more on one pass compared to another. But for all these drivers, the stage is completely the same condition. There's no advantage at the run order.
Yeah, you know, it does give you an appreciation for when drivers say they're cleaning the road and the first on the road. Something that the degradation settings I've noticed is that I feel more comfortable in a obviously not loads degraded, but some slight degradation. There's a bit of a groove that you can get the car into, especially in the tight, twisty technical sections. And I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
you can correct me.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
One silly mistake put us in the trees, so cost us a bit of time. The time's terrible, to be honest, but hey, we're enjoying it. Getting into the notes with the Italian notes, and nice to do the stages 40 minutes from home.
I'm sorry, Richard Crozier, but of all rounds to use Italian notes, and I'm not sure I'd have picked Scotland. Anyway, John, we were talking about ruts and a degrading surface while we ride on board with James Morgan. 0.3 seconds down, with Josh McElwain just approaching the finish. Go on quickly with the ruts, John.
Yeah, so basically the ruts, you can hook the car into the ruts to carry a bit more speed, and you want to analyse the road and stay in those, because if you pop out of them, you can really lose a lot of time.
Oh, squirmish there for Josh McElwain.
So that's the end of the EBRC. We maybe didn't end on our best result, but we had a lot of tough competition along the way. It was great fun. It definitely kept my competitive side alive, so yeah, it was good.
I think Josh hit the nail on the head there, kept his competitive side alive. Let's watch James Morgan fly through here. This is a fast section if you get it right. You don't want to know if you get it wrong, but I love this part of Rosebank Farm. Absolutely on the limit.
He's closing in on the final couple of corners now. How is this going to go? I have no idea. We've no split times either.
Matt Edwards currently has the fastest time of the stage, a 6:21.5. We're coming up to the line. He's done it! 6:16.9.
So that's the last stage of the last round finished. It was a good battle with Matt, and very happy to take a clean sweep of rally wins. Thanks to all the BRC organisers for putting on this little event. But hopefully we can get out on the real stages soon. See you all soon.
Well, congratulations to James Morgan. 4 from 4. Absolutely untouchable. Incredible stuff, John.
I think James might have to change his flag to French, because he's a bit dominant like the French, isn't he? 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that wasn't... In terms of sim racing, that wasn't even close on the last stage. No disrespect to Matt. It's just James went absolutely flat out there, and yeah, he's smashed that on the final stage.
It took 4.6 seconds out of Matt Edwards. Went from 0.3 down to 4.3 up. And what does that do for the championship? Well, no surprise, James Morgan claims championship victory. Josh McElwain second with 63 points. Matt Edwards gets into third. James Williams fourth. Richard Crozier, top 5 finish. Dale Furness, a no-show here, unfortunately, drops down to 6th in the championship. And Brian Brady manages to pick up 8 points and get himself 11th in the championship. Tied for 9th and 10th with Rupert Flynn and Eamon Creedon. Absolutely brilliant stuff, the EBRC. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you are watching this and want to take part in the EBRC, head to BritishRallyChampionship.co.uk. Head to the EBRC section there. You can sign up. And there's a very hotly contested fight going on right now to win a test in a Fiesta R2. You mathematically cannot win that now if you've only just entered. However, there are still heaps of prizes to win. The top 10 will get a tour around M Sport in Dovenby Hall in Cumbria with the team boss himself, Richard Milner. Quite a nice bit of prizes on offer there, John. What have you made of the championship?
I think the championship's been absolutely fantastic. Big credit to the organisers, everyone who's put the effort in organising the championship. It's been really, really great to watch, and I've just been sat here wanting to get involved from a driving point of view, so I think we'll have to try and organise a special event in the future, or another one where we get a whole host of different drivers, and I want to have a crack at James Morgan and see can I beat him.
I was just going to say, I think we need to get a grudge match arranged between you and James Morgan now. I think James Morgan gets a little bit of a heads up as to what stage it's going to be, and you're going to have to get one pass before we go in. But absolutely incredible stuff by James Morgan. Really the surprise of the championship. A co-driver took it to all of the drivers through Wales, Germany, Spain, and Scotland. We really tested them on a variety of different surfaces. The soaking wet stages of Wales, the tight twisty tarmac of Spain, the flat out jumps and cobblestones of Germany, and onto Scotland, which is basically a melting pot of absolutely everything. Thank you very much for watching this championship. It has been absolutely great to cast our voice to all of these rounds. It's a shame the championship isn't going to be happening in real life this year, but there are bigger things at stake. So for those of you that have been affected by it, our hearts are with you. Stay safe, still stay at home where and when you can. Let's all get through this pandemic together and hopefully be out rallying soon. Anything from you, John?
Yeah, I think we're seeing everything come back to normal a little bit now. The real world of motorsports coming back, but as you said, it's a shame that the real BRC isn't happening. But yeah, let's hope that esports keeps growing as well and isn't forgotten about. I think it's been a great period for esports, and hopefully we can see more battles in the future.
Here we go. That's it. Esports really come to the fore at the moment, and I don't think it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching, and maybe we'll see you soon. Goodbye.